My name is Professor Urbis White. Today we will talk about your term project assignments. We will have a big project at the end of the semester, and this project will involve surveying a series of people, gathering the data just like you would do in a real-life situation, displaying the data, graphing it, and develop a hypothesis, and test your hypothesis at a given confidence level. I would like to show you a couple of examples from the past so that will give you some idea about picking your project and also developing your report. Details about the report is going to be given to you separately from this video, but this video is for you to find out about what other people did in the past and what I like and what you should be doing. The first thing you need to do, you need to think of a question that you're interested in. So that can be anything work-related or a personal interest-related question. For example, past projects included questions like, do pet owners make better parents? And this was done by a student who was working at a veterinary clinic, and she could run her surveys there. Let's start with that one. And so what she had to do, she had to develop a survey that consisted of 10 questions at least, and it needed to be run anonymously, and she had to design her survey and give it to people at different places at different times and make sure that her sampling was totally random. And once she did her survey, she gathered all that information in one place and then developed graphs and tables. And I will give you guidelines about how to do your tables and graphs. And at the end, develop a hypothesis like the majority of female dog owners who also have kids do not use corporal punishment. This may come out of your analysis along the way. You may not have the hypothesis at the beginning, but you may develop it as you gather your data. You might want to think of a statement like the majority of blah is doing something, majority meaning more than 50% probability, or the minority of people do certain other things. So these are all good hypotheses. So I will show you a couple of those samples. So let's go to the projector right now. So the first one I have is, do men or women eat more fast food? And that is a project that was done. I just blurred out the student's name. That was done in the past. And she had a nice summary at the beginning, and you can make it as pretty or as ugly as you want, but it needs to look pretty professional. The first thing I would like you to have, it is a table of contents. And you need to have your page numbers in there, and this needs to be all typed. I'm not particular about the font. And it needs to have an introduction and design and all this, and I'll give that in writing. And your introduction is going to be about 1 or 2 pages about why you are interested in doing this project, and a summary of what you found out, and laying out the different sections that you have. So that is all going to go to the introduction. The next thing that you may have is a design of the survey. Again, this is going to be how you did your survey, where you ran it, how come you ran it in a certain location, what times did you run it. It needs to be very detailed. And how many subgroups you had, how long did it take, what was the reaction of the people who you surveyed. And after you're done with the survey, you're going to attach the survey itself. And I would like, maybe this may be a little bit too small for you to see, but I'll just read it off for you. For example, she asked, who do you think eats fast food more often, men or women? So you want to have your survey in such a way that you have multiple choices, men or women, so people can go and just, circle that out. And don't ask them, are you a man or a woman? Just say your gender or something like that, male or female. That's an important thing. You may want to ask them, how old are you, and then let them fill it in. Or you can have different age groups. For example, she asked, on average, how many times do you eat fast food in a week? So she wants to find out if there's something to do with the, parents eating out. And she has different choices. So all they have to do is just circle those choices. I eat twice a week, 3 times a week. How much do you spend on food? Those kind of things. And you want to give them, again, multiple choice choices. Yes or no, multiple choice. Or fill in. If you want to give them the fill-in question types, for example, who do you live with? And then you give them a bunch of choices, parents, roommates, siblings, and girlfriend, whatever. And now you want to have an option that says other so that they can fill it in if they need to do. So that will be your survey. After you do the survey, what you're going to do, I also want you to attach, I'll show you, have an appendix section at the end, and then attach all the raw surveys filled in at the end of your report. So you're going to have all these things, and don't let them put their names in there, no names, but all these things circled and ran, at least 40 people. So you have it all nice and neat attached to your report. Now, once you have your survey, you're going to tabulate your survey results, and this is one way of doing it. You can do it per question, or you can put it in one table. This particular report was done per question, and then she's just pretty much tabulating what she found out, what number of people said whatever per question. That's one way of tabulating things. And this particular survey was done at UCI. This is a UCI student. So she separated them as male and female. You can do that because her hypothesis had a lot to do with male behavior versus female behavior. The next step you're going to have, I will ask you to have at least 3 different types of graphs. This is one type of graph she has. It is a modified scatter plot, or you can call it a frequency polygon. Whatever you want to do, you can have it. She has a different kind of plot, maybe a pie chart. If you are having those kind of plots, make sure you have a title and make sure your percents are plotted. Now at this point, for example, this is a weak plot because I don't know what these colors mean. I don't know what these percents mean because she doesn't have a legend. So if you are putting a pie chart, you have to make sure that you have a legend attached to it. Another type of graph might be, she has, for example, number of times that somebody works out and whatever, how many female students said that, some kind of bar chart, you can have that. So you're going to pick at least 3 different types of graphs, and you're going to put all this in your report. Now, the next thing you're going to do is the hypothesis testing, and you're going to have to, we will cover this in class, but you're going to have a hypothesis, an alternative hypothesis, and put all your details in there. And maybe with a graph, you know how you're doing it, right tail, left tail, so that I know exactly what you're doing and what you found out. Once you're done, in this particular report, I had asked them to do regression analysis. You may or may not have that. If you are doing a regression analysis, you have to have an X and a Y related to each other, and you have to make sure that you're completing that analysis in its entirety. Now, the regression analysis may require some kind of plot, and you may or may not have that. If you want to generate those plots in an Excel spreadsheet, you can do that, or you can do it by hand, or you can get a printout from your TI-83. These are all the choices you can have. And the most important part, the last part, the conclusion and interpretations. And what did you find out? What was it that your hypothesis was testing? And then at the end, you just put all your raw data. Now let's go to another project. I'll just show you. This one is another one that was done in the past. I'll just give you, and you can make it as cute or as ugly as you want. She has some little stickers, and again, it is pretty much the same kind of thing. And I'll just show you the quality. You have the survey, you know, and then she put a bunch of stickers. I kind of like that. That is fine. And then the tables, and they may be, you know, you may put them sideways. And this particular student did a three-dimensional plot. And then pie charts are very, very popular. Again, hypothesis testing in a lot of details. This one was about a color of hair, and it was about what color of hair attracts men more, and she did brunette versus blonde kind of study, and that's kind of interesting. You can just keep it as light as you want. This one is a little bit more serious. This one was about, should the U.S. close its borders to all immigration until the illegal immigration problem is fixed? That is pretty loaded. And so you don't want to do really too loaded a political kind of survey, because you're going to be bogged down by all the things and start arguing with people. Just try to keep it light so that we can focus on the math part. And then again, introduction. What I like about it is this one has a lot of good tables, and I'll show you. Your tables might be, this is actually my choice, and if you see, it is a table that opens up, and then it has all these names, and I don't want you to have those names in there. It needs to be anonymous, but if you take the names out of the equation, this particular student put all the information in one table, and actually that is a very nice way of displaying it. Once you have all these tables, it is very, very easy to generate the graphs. So this one is the illegal immigration one. So I'll show you another one. This one is another light one. This is about pets again. Pets and boyfriends and girlfriends are very popular in this type of thing. This is another veterinary hospital. Do people vaccinate their animals kind of study, and what kind of people vaccinate their things. And then if you want to do it, if you are an artist, you know, if you're an artist, you want to draw pictures, you can do that. And this particular student took a lot of pride in it and just put all her frequency tables in a kind of cute way. Again, I'm not particular about generating the graphs on the computer. For example, this is hand-drawn. That's perfectly fine. Make sure when you do it, I actually like this pie chart a lot more than the other one that you saw in the generating the computer, because this one has labels. And I know 31.25% of the people and did certain things, and then convenience sampling and stuff, and this is all labeled properly. And when you're doing it, you can label it at an angle. And you can just make sure you put labels on the x-axis and the y-axis all together, and with the title, and that will work out just fine. So that is another project that I had. So the last one that I will show you is, you can put it in a binder if you want. This particular one was put in a binder. Again, the table of contents. This is a little bit too weak for an introduction, too short. Do you feel less work would positively affect school? And this is like, I could not understand what this person was talking about. So make sure that, you know, you're very clear about what you're going to be doing. And then I put a lot of, you know, a lot of comments along the way. And make sure that you get those things ironed out before you finish your study. However, even though the introduction was very weak, it has a nice summary table, and I would like to put all the summary tables together. Again, problems with it. This is hand-drawn again. It is written like this, and sometimes it's hard to see it. If you want to label it, make sure that you put some arrows or something, or have some kind of legend in there so that you can put all this information. And some of that is hand-drawn, some of them, all the tally is done by hand. That is perfectly fine as long as it is correct. So I have a lot of flexibility in terms of project. So we are going to have milestones that you're going to be in touch with me, ask in class or during my office hours, so you can come and answer, get all your questions answered. And I showed you a couple of projects, and if you want to come and see those projects in person, you can do that. I have a lot more than this. And I'll see you soon. Hopefully you'll start your projects pretty soon and communicate with me on a timely basis so that you can generate something that you are really proud of.